Hello, all you beautiful people. How you guys doing? So, Mavuika has been out here for a while, and everybody's been building her like, of course, main DPS, but we're gonna be doing something a little bit different today. So, as you guys know, I'm a huge Raiden fan, so of course I had to try the Raiden Overload team with Mavuika. I'm gonna go into the team, how strong I think it is, all the characters, what builds they're on, and then we'll play it and see how strong this team is. So first of all, let's talk about the team itself. The Raiden Overload team, of course, has to have Chevres. Any Overload team just needs to have Chevres by requirement, and today we're playing with Mavuika, so of course Mavuika needs to be here. But what can go in slot number 4 is the question. We have a couple of different options here. The number one choice, in my opinion, is C6 Sarah, because C6 Sarah has that absolutely insane crit damage 60 buff, but it is specifically C6 Sarah. If you don't have C6, I would say Sarah is unfortunately the worst choice to have. So the best choice if you have C6, but unfortunately if you don't have C6, not the best option here. Of course, we have Bennett. Bennett, can't go wrong with Bennett. Very massive attack buff. You do have to do a bit of circle impact, so you have to stay inside Bennett's circle, but the buffing is absolutely insane. Very strong. Definitely always worth it. Very interesting choice is Oraron. Oraron is great. He can use Cinder City instead of Mavuika, and the benefit of Oraron is that now you can make Mavuika kind of more of an on-fielder. We're focused on off-field Mavuika for today's video, so I'm not really going to show off Oraron. Just know that he is a fantastic option, and if you do have him at C6, you actually get some buffing capability too. You get some attack buffing. Finally, I think the last two pretty good options is between either Fischl or Miko. Just some off-field Elixir just for some extra damage. It's just pure just damage if you don't really have anything else. You can't really go wrong with them. I would also put Toma in that slot of just like, if you don't really have anything else that's good, you can kind of use him, but the other options I gave are better. Also, Pyro Traveler is also kind of that, where it's just like if you have no other option, you can just kind of use Pyro Traveler and they can be fine. Yeah, up to you. And then Dia as well, I would also put in that category. Dia has a bit of super armor. You can maybe use like tenacity or something on her. Nothing too crazy, but you have no other options. Dia is not a bad choice. But for today's video, since we're focused on Raiden on field and Mavuika off field, I'm going to be focused on the Sarah team and the Bennett team. If Mavuika was the one off field, and maybe if you guys want me to make a video for that, tell me in the comments, then we would probably switch to Oraron. But for right now, we're going to focus on Sarah and Bennett. Alright, now let's talk about the builds here. Of course, my Raiden is really insane, but all you need is about like 65 to 70 on the critical rate, about 120 to 150 on the critical damage, around at least 220 on recharge. People will tell you need 250 for Raiden recharge, but honestly, 220 to 230 is more than enough, and at least some decent attack. For this showcase, I'm actually going to change my weapon from my Engulfing Lightning to a level 20 Skyward Spine to kind of simulate closer to how you guys, your strength level, your power level, because if I just show it off with my crazy Raiden, of course it's going to seem powerful, but people are going to be like, oh, you're just carried by your amazing Raiden build, C6, Raiden, whatever. So we're just going to use level 20 weapon to kind of equalize that a little bit. Of course, on my Raiden C6, we don't need constellations. And for talents, the main thing that matters is level 9 on the E skill and level 10 on the sword. Now for Mavuika, we got Mavuika here. The big thing is the Scroll of Cinder City. I put her on just a generic attack pyro crit. I kind of want to test full EM one day. Tell me in the comments if you guys want to see that. Just because I'm wondering, like, what happens if she gets some crazy overloads? How strong would that be in the team? Yeah, tell me in the comments if you guys are curious about that. I didn't have an EM circlet, so I decided to just go against it and go just generic, like, good damage. And of course for this build, you would want the E skill to be level 10, and of course you want the burst to be level 10 as well, but Mavuika is still kind of a new character, so I'm still kind of building her up at the time of making this video, but hey, maybe we'll come back to this. But the important thing is you want Cinder City, and you want your E skill to be as high as possible. Next up, we got Chevres, of course. Right now, I'm personally using the Dialogue of the Desert Sages weapon. This was an old event weapon you could have gotten. Gives you some energy. Honestly, Favonius is also really good if you just want to use the Favonius Lance. Nothing wrong with that. I just happen to be using this. Artifacts, I'm personally using Song of Days Past, and I'll tell you why in a second. Stats don't really matter for her. I just put her on full HP with some crit, maybe if I wanted to use Favonius. Constellations don't matter. If you have constellations on Chevres, that's better, but you can still use her without constellations, and talents on Chevres don't really matter. And finally, I'm showcasing this team with Sarah. The reason why I was using Songs of Days Past on Chevreuse before is because Sarah is going to be using Noblest 4. Because Sarah can potentially use Noblest 4, she can also use Emblem if you want her to do more personal damage. But I decided, hey, let's focus on the buffs, so I'm using Noblest on Sarah. In accordance with that, I'm also using Favonius Warbow. If you want her to focus more on damage, you can run her with Emblem and the Mons Moon. I do have a Mons Moon fully decked out, ready to go. But again, for this showcase, to simulate how you guys would be, I would be using Favonius Warbow. Again, constellations do matter for Sarah. You need the C6 if you want to use Sarah. Talents, you can get more burst if you want. It's up to you. I do think the E skill gives you more attack as well, so E skill might also be useful to take. Here's the alternate character you guys can use as well, Bennett. My Bennett is just on Aquila, just to get some more high base attack. You don't see Favonius or the Deepwood sword, or not Deepwood sword. What is that sword called? The like Dendro sword everybody uses. I forget. I actually don't have one. Sapwood, of course, Sapwood. And then artifacts, we got Noblest, just like the Sarah, so that's kind of like, you know, what they're sharing between them. Constellations, more constellations would be better. You don't need them. And talents, make sure that burst is maxed out. All right, those were the builds. Let's get into the gameplay. All right, now it's time for the damage showcase. Here we go. We're using the Bennett team for this one. We'll do another one with the Sarah one, but I wanted to start with the one that you guys would be probably more familiar with. All right, let's get it started here. All right, first off, we're going to start with Raiden E skill. Chevreuse, 1, 2, 3, because I had the C6. Going for Bennett here. Mavuika burst. Don't forget to skill, and then Raiden goes 1, 2, boom. 1, 2, 3. Hold, 1, 2, 3, hold, and the damage is great, 2, 3, hold. Like, I do have C6 Raiden, but there you go. That is one full rotation. Okay, well, the Yumika sword blew himself up with the bomb, but there you go. You saw the damage there, absolutely fantastic. Again, still using that level 20 weapon here. Fantastic damage, absolutely fantastic damage. Showing off the Sarah build. My theory is it's going to be a little bit stronger, but let's see. Same thing, start with Raiden E. Chevreuse, 1, 2, 3. A little bit different. Going to Mavuika next. Get the ring out. Sarah E. And then burst. Make sure Raiden grabs it. 1, 2, boom. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. And hold. There we go. That is one full rotation. I might as well finish this guy off, right? And then he'll explode. Similar. Very, very similar damage. The initial hit, I think, was a lot stronger. But it's mostly Raiden. Also, this ring looks so cool, by the way. Raiden's going to benefit a lot more from the Sarah, but having the Bennett really helped with the Mavuika damage, because Bennett was boosting Mavuika's damage by quite a bit. So they're actually quite equal, as you saw right there. The stronger your Raiden is, the stronger the Sarah variation is. So if you have C6 Sarah, your Raiden's going to be stronger. But yeah, let's end this off with a nice Abyss showcase. Alright, we're ending this off with a nice Abyss showcase. We're going to be showcasing this on the second half of Abyss, is because, you know, it mostly has the bosses there, which is where you should be using Overload mostly. So here we go. We're also using the Bennett version, because again, it's a little bit more free to play, quote unquote, and it's more similar to what you guys are going to be playing, because not many people have C6 Sarah. Alright, same thing. Start off with Raiden's skill. Chevreuse, boom. 1, 2, 3. Go for Bennett, go for Mavuika. Don't forget to use Mavuika's skill after. And then Raiden finishes it up. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. I think I missed that first one. 1, 2. No, I got him. Hold. Great. Powerful build. So let's talk about the positives and the negatives here about the build. The big thing with Mavuika, as you can see here, sometimes Mavuika doesn't get bars, so you'll have to drive around a little bit to finish out Mavuika's bar. It's just natural, you know, when you're playing Mavuika without other Natlan characters. Sometimes Mavuika's burst doesn't fill all the way all the time, but, you know, it's just what we have to deal with. Raiden goes, boom, 1, 2, 3, boom. We might be hit by this, actually. 1, 2, 3, boom. Thankfully, Bennett healed us. 1, 2, 3, boom, and then, boom. Damage is great, by the way. Damage is fantastic. Rotation's pretty good. Again, the only thing that's kind of getting in the way is like Mavuika's stuff right now, but it's not that big of a deal. See, it's already ready. As long as you have half charge with Mavuika, you're fine. If you want to run around to build it up more, feel free to do that. Finish it off. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. I think I'm gonna get it this turn. 2, 3. Hold it. Boom, boom, and done. Not bad. I think the big thing again to kind of remember / look out for is the first rotation is going to feel fantastic because Mavuika's bar is fully full, her burst bar, right? The second and third rotations might be a little bit rough because again of Mavuika's rotation, but you just kind of can work with that, do whatever you can for it. As you can tell for this fight, we switched it up a little bit. I went with the Auron instead of Bennett because in order to knock down Poplia, we needed a bit more reactions, and Auron does Night Soul aligned attacks that can knock it down a little bit better with its shield. And for the final fight as well, the Drake, we do need to shoot it down, so I decided to switch to Auron for the next two boss fights. But here we go. Idea is still relatively the same, except this time we'll go for Auron and Mavuika focus a little bit more. Try and knock it down here. The reactions are still pretty good. Okay, boom. Alright, now we can get back on track. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Mavuika. Boom. Raiden. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. 1, 2, 3. Hold. So let's talk about strengths and weaknesses with this build as I'm fighting this Tenebrous Poplia here. So strengths and weaknesses with this build is that, of course, the first rotation is going to feel fantastic, and then some of the other ones are not going to feel as good. Because the big thing with the original Bennett build and the Sarah builds was, of course, being able to get Mavuika's Burst. Without extra Natlan characters, getting Mavuika's Burst can be a little bit difficult, but don't forget, if you just ride on Mavuika's motorcycle, she'll get some charge back. So you always kind of have that in order to help you out when it comes to using Mavuika's build. Without other Natlan characters, you can just, ride on her motorcycle in order to get some back. So you always have that option to kind of help you out a little bit. The damage is really good. Again, you have the normal overload problems where, like, against bosses, it's fantastic, as you can see with Poplia. But against, like, rando enemies, it can be kind of suffering a little bit. But it still shouldn't be too much of a problem. We should be good at this fight. There we go. Yeah, even against mob content, usually mob content in general isn't super difficult. Actually, wait, let's just finish this off with Mavuika, I think. Even against normal mob content, you're not going to suffer too much just because the damage is so good between all these characters. But it could be a little bit messy. It can be a little bit messy with execution. It definitely depends on what you're fighting. But the damage is great. It is great to play. It feels great to play. And you can, again, you're slotting in different characters for that number 4. So you're keeping the variety up too, depending on kind of like who you're fighting, what you want to fight. It's actually, even though it seems kind of strict because you need Chevres, and, again, specifically we're doing Raiden with Mavuika. You only have one slot to kind of like mess around with because you have to have Chevres. But surprisingly, it is quite variable. Alright, let's get a nice, clean Aeon Blight Drake fight to finish it off. Let's ride the motorcycle here so we can get some charge. Auron, shoot that guy down. Alright, start up with the Raiden. Chevres. 1, 2, 3. Auron, Mavuika. Don't forget the skill. And then Raiden Burst. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, hold it. One more charge attack to finish it off. Start it up from the start. 1, 2, 3. Auron. Boom. Mavuika. Boom. Raiden. Go. 1, 2, 3. Oh. 1, 2, 3. Oh, see, that time we got a really good rotation. It helped with Auron as well from charging up Mavuika. So that's probably why. Shoot this guy in the face. So you can get one more rotation off. Could also wait, to be honest with you. It might be better just to wait. Oh, do we wait? Oh, we're going for it. I'm going for it. 1, 2, 3. Hold. I should have waited. I should have waited. I got too eager. I admit it. Okay. Looks like I have to finish it off with Mavuika because Raiden's not ready. Spin and spin and spin and spin and spin and spin. Alright. Could have done that a little bit more optimally. It depends. Again, we're still using that level 20 weapon. Here, just to prove it to you guys. Just in case some people were just like, oh, that fight was kind of close. Are you sure this build is good? That build is good? This fight was a little bit too close. Just so you guys know, we're still using that level 20 weapon. We're still using that level 20 weapon right here. Still got the Skyward Spine. So some final thoughts as I play with my full power Raiden with this team. How do I feel about the build overall? Honestly, I feel fantastic about it. It does have some struggles overall, but the benefits definitely outweigh the downsides. The biggest downside here is the second and third rotation. Because Mavuika might not have her burst ready to go, you might be struggling a little bit, or you might be playing things a little bit out of whack, where like the rotation isn't the same every single single time you play it, but that's okay. You know what? Sometimes being flexible is just best, and learning how to play Mavuika without another Natlan character can honestly be really, really beneficial to you guys, because that's kind of how Mavuika is. A lot of people say like, oh, you need a Natlan character to play Mavuika. You need a Natlan player to play Mavuika. You really don't. You really, really don't. So maybe some things will be weird with her build, you know, do some weird stuff, but you know, sometimes that's how it is, right? It's worth it to be flexible. It's worth it to kind of like learn these a little bit weird teams. It's a weird team, it's a weird comp, but if you learn how to play it, you're gonna find out it's very strong, very powerful. Overall, the build is super fun, super great to play, very powerful, very efficient. It has a few struggles along the way, but definitely viable and definitely worth it. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe, all that fantastic stuff. Check out the stream. I stream on Twitch every single day, 8 p.m. EST, and I will see you guys in the next one. If you need another build for me to check out, try out some fun type of build, leave it in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. And peace out.